All right. So let's talk about how. Okay.
Wonderful.
What are the next steps now? We want to work on this. We want to develop our skills, our awareness, our knowledge, our attitude. So what can I do now?
Absolutely. Well, I think, as someone who really does value a lot of data research, one of the tools that I utilize and is quite popular on our campus as well is the Intercultural Development Inventory. So this is a prominent assessment instrument that really assesses our capacity to shift cultural perspectives and adapt our behavior across cultures. So again, Dr. Mitchell Hammer really created the Intercultural Development Inventory. And what I really appreciate is the idea that they also put this inventory through external validation studies. So you can definitely be rest assured that it is statistically reliable and valid instrument. And it's really great because it utilizes the intercultural development continuum. So an actual theoretical approach to really assessing, as far as this intercultural competence experience and development, where is the IDI placing me along this continuum? And then what does that mean are my developmental tasks? How can I continue developing what I've already been working on? In addition, oftentimes the process with the Intercultural Development Inventory, or I'll reference IDI, just for you all to know, is you get to meet with a qualified administrator to get your own results, where you're placed along that continuum, as well as a development plan. So it really outlines strategies and exercises so you can be deliberately developmental. And what I mean by that is the exercises you will engage in really map to where the IDI places you along the continuum. So you can rest assured you're doing the development work that you need, for yourself at that time.
So it's a more targeted work.
It is. It absolutely is. It's much more informed. It increases your own self-awareness, and the ability to really talk about and set goals for yourself. And I think that's another important piece. So instead of, and what I always talk to, with my clients is around the idea, instead of just showing up and going to, oh, Amy's doing a workshop, which that may be great, and I'm biased because I think they're all great, right?
I think they're great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Beyond that, you can be more selective and think about, all right, so what skills do I really want to enhance? If I really need to spend time understanding my own culture, how can I start pursuing opportunities that allow me to really get in tune with that? And so again, you can be very much more deliberate because there's a lot of information out there. And so I like being a little bit more strategic. And so this can help you do that. So I definitely recommend engaging with the Intercultural Development Inventory, connecting with a qualified administrator to really get that feedback and some direction where you need to go with your development.
We have several qualified administrators around campus, and I'm sure that there's a variety of approaches, and folks can probably find somebody they have some kind of affinity with, and if not personal but professional, and if you're faculty or if you're staff, a student, the opportunity is out there, and I really recommend that folks give it a try. So in addition to the IDI, what else can we do?
Beautiful. So I have been spending some time actually looking at LinkedIn learning courses. So currently on our campus, every student, staff, and faculty member has access to online courses absolutely free. And that can be really helpful, just especially as you're kind of starting out, trying to familiarize yourself with, the concepts, definitions, right? The different cultural patterns. You can get a lot out of kind of quick online courses. So a few that I actually want to recommend, and I'll talk about one in particular. I'll just give you a few examples. First and foremost, there is the Cultivating Cultural Competence and Inclusion. So this is facilitated by Mary Frances Winters, who is actually also connected with the Intercultural Development Inventory, so is an interculturalist, and really lays out great strategies on what you can be doing to enhance your cultural or intercultural competence. So presented in this course is actually a 4E model, is what they call it. And the 4 E's, and I'll just quickly kind of share those pieces, and I encourage you, please check out this course to even learn more, and let me know if you want to talk about it, because I think it's great. So first and foremost is exposure. So being exposed to cultural patterns, and cultural others that are different from your own, right? Just getting that exposure. The next piece is really around experience. That's the second E. So really engaging in meaningful relationships and interactions with folks that come from various cultural backgrounds that are different from your own. Then you add on to that piece, the third E is education. So we talked a little bit with even the IDI, how you get strategies and continuing your, experiences and engaging with others, but also what books, what other courses, whether that's online, in-person workshops, articles, to really start learning about your own culture and other cultures you do not belong to. And keep in mind, this is just kind of a reminder, when we're talking about cultures, we're not just thinking on a global scale. There are cultures all around us in every single team, department, different individuals you're engaging with. So I just want to ground us back in that piece as well. So you're really expanding on your education. And so as you continue working with those first three E's, right? So again, exposure, experience, and education, you will be developing that strong skill of empathy. So empathy is really your ability. A lot of folks talk about walking a mile in someone else's shoes, really trying to try on the worldview of others, really thinking of values and beliefs from other perspectives and what those possible behaviors and decisions may mean. And so really that's a framework that I definitely would recommend that you engage with a little bit further. And so again, I really appreciate that course, Cultivating Cultural Competence and Inclusion. And to continue building upon a couple other great courses that I've engaged with too, and I think Beto, you have as well, and you actually recommended one of these too, is Developing Cross-Cultural Intelligence and also Communicating about Culturally Sensitive Topics. And so we have access to these courses and plenty more absolutely free, which I think is fantastic. And you can expand that out. I always like thinking about TED Talks, really following a diverse array, a lot of different culturally relevant news sources or organizations as well. So those are some recommendations on, what do I need to do and kind of how to get started as well. And all the while, keep reaching out to continue getting some coaching around intercultural, cultural competence. The more that we can really process, reflect, talk through, kind of what would make us more effective and what goals we're trying to achieve, I think the more in tune we can be with our own cultures, and be more strategic and deliberate in where we're headed as well. And I think, one of the final points that I wanted to share, as we talked about the IDI, and I'm going to share my screen here one more time. So let me go to this piece. There we go. All right. You should see a slide here in just a moment that says higher scores on the IDI predict. Did that come through on your end? Brilliant. Yes. So when I am doing a talk or presentation using the Intercultural Development Inventory, especially when I'm talking with a group, a team, organization, we talk about how the IDI has predictive abilities. And so what we're finding is those that score higher on the IDI, right, really are developing and continuously enhancing their intercultural competence abilities. What we're finding is those folks are having much more success on diversity recruitment and hiring and retention. They're able to make, the environment, whether that's a workplace, classroom environment, any type of setting, much more inclusive. In addition, what you'll notice on that second bullet point is employees rate their relationships with their managers much more, positively and productively. Mm-hmm. And something to know, especially in the employee engagement research, the relationship with your direct supervisor and manager is so pivotal in really retaining employees. And so this is really important aspect to recognize. Also, you'll see that in general, folks have a greater interest, curiosity, openness, right? Wanting to discover other cultures, learn more about the way other people are thinking and doing their work, or learning, for example. Folks generally have greater comfort in interacting with cultural diversity, folks that are different from themselves. They tend to have more intercultural friendships and connections, and even networking. So if you think about even externally who you partner with or vendors, you'd have a broader network of folks to really partner with. Also, a greater capacity for regulating negative emotions. And I think this is key. So when I mention conflict, for example, or things that really challenge us, we're then able to pause, slow it down a little bit, and really think about what are other perspectives that could be going on with someone's behavior. Because oftentimes we want to kind of tell a story and kind of describe, oh, someone is doing such a behavior because of this. So we're able to actually slow that down and think, well, what else could be going on? What else could it mean? And so we're able to really navigate those emotions and recognize there are multiple perspectives and likely multiple things could be going on in this scenario more than what my initial reaction is or could be. And the final piece is generally folks are engaging in many more multicultural activities, and really gaining a lot out of that and really appreciating them so much more. And so in general, you can also see this list as ways that folks are also continuously building upon their intercultural or cultural competence as well.
So yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You just shared a lot of information that can give us a lot to think about, and thank you for that. This was great. I will make available the link for the courses that you talked about.
Great, thank you.
And the documents, I'll make everything available for everybody. And I hope that we can do this again.
Oh, I would love to. And please, I welcome anyone, please do reach out if you want to discuss this further. Beto is a great resource, and I'm always open to and really enjoy conversations around intercultural competence more broadly, but even your own journey as well. So please do reach out. And I just thank you very much for the time and attention to this topic. And I'm really hoping that we inspired curiosity for a lot of folks today. So thank you all so much for your time.
I'm sure you have. All right. Bye.
Bye. Take care.